Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another GTS Retailer webinar where we're going to put you in touch with one of our vendors. Today is National Dice Day, as it turns out, so we are going to get to have the pleasure of hearing from Lax Chandra, who is the founder of Sirius Dice. And one of the special things we've cooked up for you today is that for those in attendance live here today, they will get an additional 4 free sets of dice. We'll get those out to you. What will happen is that your information here will be captured and we'll provide that to your sales reps, and they'll be out in touch with you to discuss that opportunity and make sure you get those dice. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and hand it over to Lax Chandra of Sirius Dice.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Hopefully everybody can see the screen that I have up right now. So my name is Lax, as Scott was saying. I am, hold on 1 second, there it is. So let me tell you just a little bit about Sirius Dice and about myself before I tell you about the retailer program that we're launching with. We are a new dice company. It's actually, I've been in the industry before. From 2006 to 2012, I was president of WizKids. So I'm very familiar with the industry, but I've been absent for a little while, and it drew me back in, so I'm back. We are launching with both dice, and we're going to start doing some accessories, dice accessories, some game accessories, and we may do some other things as well, but we're focused right now on primarily with our launch in dice. The set is releasing on December 17th, although I just got some word today that the containers on the water are taking a little longer to get here than has been expected, so I'll have an update for you soon. But it is launching this month. I was trying to make it before Christmas, but a typhoon at the Chinese port and now some delays on the water kind of have me, getting uncomfortably close to it. But it will be in your stores very soon. Hold on, I'm just waiting for my screen to move. Okay, sorry. So just why Sirius Dice is, I think, different from some of the other dice publishers is that we're really 100% focused on increasing turns of dice in your store. What I've kind of learned in doing the research from talking to, probably 20 to 30 stores, actually probably more than 30 stores, is that retailers sell a lot of dice. And you guys probably sell a lot of dice as well. I think I've seen stores do, at least $3,000 of dice. I've seen many stores do well over 20,000, and I've seen actually one store that does over 100,000. But dice sells. D&D and role-playing games are doing great. That's actually kind of helping fuel dice sales. But what you noticed, or what I've noticed, is that the merchandising of dice is lacking. And for something that is an impulse purchase many times, that's selling so well in the store, there's not as much attention being paid to how dice is merchandised. And some of that, you guys may be merchandising it really well and may be the exception, but what I've seen is it's been lacking. So what we're focused on is a few different things. So one is we're going to improve merchandising. I'll talk about that in a second. We're going to have a very varied product mix and assortment that has different prices and different types of dice, some of which you may have seen before, but I think for the most part, they're dice that are not traditionally sold in stores, although with some exceptions. And then also to provide just a consistent supply so that you guys always, have what you need and you're not missing out on opportunities. So to launch the program, we're launching with a countertop display. The countertop display holds 38 tubes of dice. I'll talk about the packaging in a second. It's 17 inches high, it's about 12 inches deep, and it's about 14.5 inches wide. So it should fit on shelves. It definitely fits on counters. The display on the top row is backlit. And the reason it's backlit is because dice just look really good against light, especially translucent, semi-translucents, some semi-transparents. They just look really, really good. I think Scott has and Jessica have seen the countertop displays. And they can talk a little bit about like what it looks like, and I think how powerful it is. I have actually put it in a few stores, and it definitely is kind of like a beacon in the store. People notice the dice very, very quickly, and they kind of linger around it too. So I think it accomplishes the task. So the other thing is the packaging. So we're actually doing a tube. It's a hard plastic tube with a screw cap. You know, there's a potential that some of your customers will actually use it as the carrying case. Some won't. Some will just, you know, put it in bags and put it in their Crown Royal bags or whatever else they're using. But it is pretty functional. It looks really good. And I think most importantly, even if they don't use it as a carrying case, it shows the dice really well. It creates a kind of like, it shows each one of the dice. And when it's, you know, kind of in the stores, in the POP, it just really pops. There are optional hang tags if you want them. So if you're not going to buy the POP, you're able to do that, and you can contact GTS to you know, for those. Let's see. So the next thing is just the product mix. So we have three kind of like price ranges. We have a high end that goes all the way up to $19.99. Those are the rainbow colored dice in the top right of the screen. They look incredible. They look incredible against the light. The blue Auroras, which are at the bottom of the screen, they also look really good. They're actually, I think they're $15.99. I think I got that wrong. Those are $15.99, and the red, white, and blues are $15.99. We have a mid-range, which are $12. These are cloud dice. They have kind of like the black have a black cloud, the red have a red cloud. Again, they look really, really good against light. As you'll kind of see, most of the dice that I have are transparent, translucents, etc. And then we have a $8.99 set of SKUs that I think are 6 in total. There are 4 translucents and then 2 swirls. One's a pearl blue, and then one's a pearl blue, one's a pearl green, and one's like a charcoal swirl. And for the launch, every single tube comes with an extra D20. It's a free white pearl. It's really for the D&D player for the advantage disadvantage, and then for those who aren't playing D&D, it's just an extra added value that comes free. It's another reason why the customer would hopefully buy the tube and kind of get that person over the hump in terms of buying it. You know, it's probably, you know, $1 value for free. And that comes in every tube for the launch. And, you know, one of the promises is that we'll try to just keep coming out with new, exciting SKUs, and have a steady supply so that you guys don't miss out on opportunities to sell those things that are selling. Obviously, we'll be out sometimes, but for the most part, we're pretty committed to getting our SKU count up so that you'll be able to find which SKUs really work for you and which SKUs don't, and then you can kind of ride those SKUs. These are actually the first time anybody's seeing these. These are coming out in the next set. They'll probably be out in late February, early March. There's going to be 8 sets. These are 5 of them. There's a green and blue semi-translucent. There's a pink and gray and clear dice at the bottom that is translucent. There is a red, green, and blue that looks very different actually than the green and blue, especially against the light. And then there's a couple of other SKUs as well. So the last thing is that for the launch, GTS is offering I think an incredible deal. So if you buy, there's a mixed carton that has 48 SKUs in it, and it's basically the 6 of the best SKUs. In those, in that 48, 8 of those tubes are free. Plus, you're going to get another 4 free tubes from attending this seminar. You get the countertop display, and you get that free 8 D20 in every tube. So you just have to buy the mixed carton plus another $150 of wholesale of dice, and you'd be good to go. As I said, the product is launching in December. It was supposed to be December 17th. It may push back a little bit just because the containers are taking a little longer on the water than expected. I'll have an update with you, for you shortly. And that's basically it. I'd love to answer any questions if anybody has any. Just let me know.
Yeah, so the way we'll work the questions is that if you haven't used Zoom before, at the bottom of your panel, there is a chat window where you can push in there. That'll come to me so I can moderate the questions and comments as they come in. We already have a couple here. Samantha Stevens says, these look so good. Thank you, Samantha. We agree. They look great. And then Derek asks, the free Pearl D20, at what point do you anticipate to sell through the launch batch and then have only the tubes without it? So how long will that Pearl be available, do you think?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll be honest. So here's the thing. So a couple of notes that this is more of a conversation than I have an answer for you. If the extra D20 sells a lot of dice tubes for you, I'll probably keep doing it. I just don't know how it's going to, how it's going to perform. And in terms of how long, those tubes are going to last, I don't know, because I don't know how fast these things are going to sell. I would say that the response at the distributor level has been incredible. And so beyond what I expected, but I also made a fair amount of dice so that we wouldn't run out, because the worst thing possible is that you have these countertop displays in your store with no dice tubes in them. So I would say they're going to last a little bit of time. They should last at least 3 to 4 months before the next set comes out. And what I would love to hear is some feedback on that extra D20. Like, is it driving sales? Because if it is, I'll keep doing it. And if it's not, we'll take it out and we'll add different value for you guys. Again, I'm just about, what we're about is trying to turn dice for you. That'll help, you, it'll help GTS, and it'll help me. And we're going to try to do whatever, experiment with some things to make that happen. My viewpoint is, just as an aside that I didn't say when we were talking about the countertop display, is that I just think that if a store is selling X number of X dollars of dice a year, that for those stores that aren't merchandising great, and they don't have the tools to do so, that I think that this countertop display and the packaging will increase turn by 1.5 to 2 times. I don't really have any data to support that, other than I will say that the stores that I have seen that do merchandise better, that are the same size and kind of like the same kind of clientele, they turn more dice. And so, you know, that's the theory that I'm going to put to the test here.
Okay. There are a few more questions. Are there plans for metal or other material types?
So metal, I have looked into it, and I actually have some samples, but I'm not ready to do that yet. Yeah, I'll give you my information at the end of this, if that's okay, Scott.
Yeah.
But I haven't figured out kind of like how to differentiate, you know, my metal dice from the ones that are actually out there. I'd love to hear some feedback about if you'd like to see it and what you'd like to see and what are the price points that you think could work in your store.
Okay. Another couple of questions about the manufacturer of the dice. I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So some of these dice you may have seen before. So I have multiple suppliers. I'm sourcing dice from basically the best suppliers in China. They're people that I've worked with in the past. And then there's some new people. HD has some dice that I have. You may have seen them elsewhere. I actually went there last week to China, and I've sourced a couple of other suppliers as well. But you know, I'm just looking for the best dice that I have, for the most part, have not seen in stores. I've seen some like HD dice in stores. The other dice that I have are definitely, I think there's only 4 SKUs that are HD, I think, in this set. But I haven't seen most of them in retail stores. And the other dice that I have, obviously, you haven't seen before. But I am basically looking for the best suppliers that I can find, the best dice that I can find, and I'll keep doing that.
Right. I think part of the value add here is the packaging and also making these dice more available in the marketplace beyond those who maybe can't meet the minimum orders or whatever to order direct. They have the opportunity now to bring those dice into their store and have them on the shelf.
Right. I agree.
All right. Do you have any plans for D6 only packages, or are you primarily just sticking with the 7 count polys for now?
No, I'll do D6s for sure. I've had some requests already for that. My guess is we're looking at probably around mid to late summer for that. But I definitely will have D6s. I'll definitely have some other configurations that are popular. Hopefully, pounds of dice. You know, and some other ones as well. But I've definitely had requests. I am focused right now in the very near term on the sets of 7, primarily because I feel like if we have this nice countertop display, you know, every store sells different types of dice, and they just do better. Some do better with you know, dice that are under $10. Some do dice that do well that with like really cool looking dice that people haven't seen before. So I need to get enough SKUs out there to basically to support the product line. And once I do that, then I'll definitely start moving on to the other configurations.
Great. Olga has a comment here. She says she'd like to add that she already got this display with the dice as she was selected to receive a sample. And in less than 1 week, more than half of the dice sold out, and the most expensive rainbow dice went first. So it's doing great, and she needs a restock.
Wow.
So that's great news.
Olga, that's awesome. Contact me. Also, you know, by the way, one thing I definitely want to hear is from all the retailers who do participate is like, how did you do? Like, did it work? Because if you're not turning more dice, then it didn't work. I want to hear like if it worked, what we could do better with the countertop display or the packaging. I definitely want to hear from you. Like, feel free. Again, I'll give you my info at the end of this. I didn't put it on the deck, which was dumb, but Scott has it as well.
Right. And I do have some of the dice here, so you can see this is what the tube looks like. It's a nice fit for your hand. As it's hard to see there, but you can see the dice have a lot of color in them. They show in the light real well. This is a screw top, as Lax said, comes right off, and then they have stopper there to keep the dice from falling out. But it is a really great package. It's a nice, thick plastic, very durable. It's not something that's like if you remember the old ones from another brand where you squeeze it and the top pops off. It's not like that at all. This is a really good, secure, attractive looking package. And it's got the barcode right there. So that's great.
Hey, Scott, can you talk about the countertop display too, about like your thoughts on it? Obviously, I think it looks good. But
I think it's fantastic. It's a really good, sturdy presentation. The plastic on that is really nice and thick. It goes together really easily. Just pops right in, and then you plug it in, and it's good to go. The lights are a little bright, but they're very attractive. They get a lot of attention. They really shine through those dice really well, especially the translucence and the semi-transparents. They look fantastic on display. I think it's a great addition to your store. It'll really capture the attention, even if the lights aren't on or if you slip something back there. I think you said there was something on the way by way of diffuser to help reduce that if it's needed.
yeah, I'll have in about 2.5 weeks, I'll have you just put it on the back of the or in front of the lights, and there's a two-way tape on it. You just put it on the corners, and it will completely tamp down the brightness of the display, but it will not tamp down how good the dice look. The dice look basically the same with it. It just basically diffuses the light. It doesn't remove the light.
Yeah, there's a couple of other questions, comments. They're so pretty, so fancy from Samantha. Seth says, I'm excited about the display and would love to have it in my store right now. We'll have it to you about half a month, it sounds like.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll give you, it was supposed to be December 17th. I'll give you an update based on where the containers are. I'm getting updates every day, literally. so I'll give you an update. But yeah, you should be soon, next couple weeks.
Another question is, how long is the power cord attached to the unit? Do you know?
I do. Go ahead, Scott.
I would say it's probably 3 or 4 feet. Does that sound about right?
I think it's about 3 to 4 feet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it doesn't have an on and off switch. You just unplug it from the unit.
Yeah.
So Olga says it's also a great opportunity to talk to customers about the high quality of the dice. And she has it on the display next to her front counter. Lights very bright. So, yeah.
I'm working on that, Olga.
All right. Does anyone have any last questions? Any chance to change to a battery operated version? You know if that's in the works, or is that kind of ship has sailed?
Yeah, the ship has sailed. Unless all the retailers kind of say, look, it just doesn't work. We want the battery powered one. The reason why we can do the battery powered one, we actually have we had it working. We had a working one. But what we decided was that the batteries kind of came with a little bit more risk. Also, the amount of time that the batteries would last became somewhat problematic. And what I envisioned was, I know that the battery gives a little bit more portability, but what I was envisioning was that basically the batteries would just kind of go off so much that the light wouldn't be on most of the time. And that's kind of where we ended up with it.
Great. Olga's correcting us. She says the cord is almost 5 feet long, so even better than we thought.
Olga's the expert.
Yeah. All right. So I think if there's no other questions, it doesn't look like there's anything new in the chat windows. So I think we'll wrap up here. Just a reminder, I'm Scott Bohr. I'm the category manager for gaming accessories and toys here at GTS. Lax Chandra is the founder of Sirius Dice. And I think we can give out, if you want to give out your contact information, you can go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, sorry I didn't write it down. I should have, but it's Lax, L-A-X, at SiriusDice.com, SIRIUS dice.com. And I'll give you my phone number too, 732-768-4010. You're free to contact me anytime. I would love to hear how you guys do with it, or if you have any questions. One of the questions that I have is, are you guys interested in just simple opaque dice as well, like that are, probably $6 MSRP. And what other styles of dice do you do well with? I know people do well with translucents. I think our translucents are really good. There should be no bubbles in there. I mean, I hammered the factory on it. So, and because they're sitting in front of light, there's no room for error there. You're going to notice them. But, translucents, how do they do? Opaques, higher end dice, metal dice. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, it looks like that's raised some comments here. People saying they'd like to see mini dice, opaques if you can get the price point down. Low price points are always good for school kids. They sell well for us. Metal is absolutely on the list. And then repeat your contact info. And then opaque sets, if you can get them down to like a $5.99 price point, is also recommended.
Okay, great.
So if you want to give your email again, that'd be great.
Lax, L-A-X, at SiriusDice.com, SIRIUS dice.com, and number is 732-768-4010.
Yep. And you can also go ahead and pre-order this product right now through gtsdistribution.com or through your sales rep at GTS. All of the attendees here on the line today will get 4 free dice sets as part of being attending at the webinar. And also that's on top of all the additional free stuff you get just as kind of the base offer with the 8 free sets within that point of purchase set, $150 in MSRP additional purchase, and then every dice set has an additional free dice. So Lax is just giving away a lot of free stuff here, and it's great that we have the opportunity to take advantage of that. Once again, reach out to your GTS sales rep to order, and with that, I think we'll call it a and turn you over to your work. Thanks very much for attending.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, GTS. I appreciate it.